And with us, I think, there is frustration there, like with farmers out on the ground. Like there's significant investment going in on farms to try and improve water quality. There's a lot of different restrictions. Well, there's different recommendations that have been put in place for compliance, etc., to try and improve soil water, to stop roadways, moving water tanks, etc. So, protected urea, I think there's 31 in total that irrigation farmers have to adhere to. It is frustrating that when you see your local town and you know that the storage plant there isn't up to capacity, that is having an impact on water quality. And it is very frustrating for individuals when they see, we're doing A, B, C and D, and we don't see the investment that's needed to get wastewater treatment plants up to capacity. Like, I can name a number of fairly sizable villages in my own county that have no waste treatment plant, and they're using the nearby river just for raw storage to go straight into it. And we are in the 21st century. That's not, and now it's not your fault. But it's just that it's definitely not good enough.
I'll say it again to assure the committee that our focus in terms of improving water quality is not just focused on the agriculture sector.
When I question you there, I just want to express the frustration that's there. Yeah. Just go back for a minute to forestry, and you said it was the third biggest contributor. And like when land is planted and is planted, the gate is virtually closed for the next 20 years and no one goes back near it. So is there something that can be done by Quilta or private landowners to stop it's not from chemical nitrogen because there's a spit spread when it is planted, but after that there's no real fertilizer put on forestry. And like you said, it's the third largest contributor. Is there something that can be done at a practical level, at forestry level, at farm level, to improve the runoff from forestry?
Certainly, I say first of all, we have had engagements recently with Quilta who are focused on this particular area, but Jenny can answer in more detail.
So the issues tend to really happen in the forestry areas when there's some forestry activity, and that can be either when the forest has been planted, or when it's been thinned, or when it's been clear felled. In between those periods, when the forest is stable, we tend to see water quality being fairly good, but when we see those events happening, the forestry activities happening, we can get a decline. So there is a definite correlation between activity, and activity is spread out throughout the coops in any particular catchment at any one time. So the Forest Service and the regulations they operate with do have measures to prevent those impacts occurring, and if those are in place and they're operating properly. Now there are challenges we have to acknowledge with the legacy sites.
Can I just ask a question? Like you said, when for activity, obviously that's clear felling or thinning, but like that applies to a very small percentage of the forest area in any one year, and still is the third highest contributor. It's hard to align that there's only when activity is taking place. Like when you have heavy rainfall, the water comes off of forest land an awful lot quicker than it come off of grassland. Does that have an impact on the water quality?
Yeah, so the issues that we normally see associated with forestry is actually more the sediment and the drainage and the habitat condition, and then followed by the phosphorus. It's not, as we discussed there earlier, it's not typically a nitrate problem scenario. It's more about the sediment and the drainage, and then the phosphorus coming from the brash, we'll say, after the clear fell has happened.
Okay, and a final question now. So to get back in, Michael? Yeah, sorry, no, George, I want to ask one more question. Tillage, and like we talk about free draining soils, do we know how much, like, can we divide, you have forestry split, can you divide between the other farm enterprises, dairying, tillage specifically, as regards what proportion of the nitrate specifically would be attributed to each sector? Because we see like a problem in the areas where we have a high level of tillage, our nitrates is the black spot. So can we distinguish between farming enterprises as regards the contributors to the water quality?
So ultimately, similar to the discussion we had earlier here, where we've identified a water quality problem, and we know at national level what the likely pollution sources are for that problem, that gets referred on to Law Pro then, who go out and walk up the streams and figure out which farm or which forestry coupe or which pipe is actually causing the issue. So they're able to localise the effort to figure out precisely what the actions are that are needed to rectify the issue. But our starting point is always what's going on in the water quality.
So we haven't got, like, you have a figure for forestry, that is the third highest contributor. We haven't got that figure for tillage or dairying as regards.
I think the catchments of concern you can talk about.
Yeah, so in the south and southeast where we have a nitrate issue, we have a Teagasc model embedded in our models that allow us to separate between pasture and tillage.
Can you make that information available to us, please?
Yeah, that's published, so yeah, we can do that, yeah.